Chances of a Supreme Court position for Judge Brett Kavanaugh, a lifelong Catholic, are in jeopardy. This is following an allegation of sexual assault. Even before the charge was made public, one former RNC official who has spent 3 decades here in politics and journalism said it was time to change the confirmation process. And here she is, joining me now, Genevieve Woods, Senior Communications Advisor at the Heritage Foundation, Senior Contributor for the Daily Signal. Welcome back to the program.
Good to be here.
You know Washington politics inside and out, the policy, the process. It surprised me to read that you said that these Supreme Court confirmation hearings have become useless. What was it about watching Kavanaugh that made you think that?
Well, I mean, I think we knew before the day one of the hearings exactly how everybody on that committee was going to vote and probably how most of the Senate was going to vote. And we've seen that over the years, but at this one, there was no doubt about it. And it was a circus. Day one, you had 70 protesters thrown out on day one of the hearings. The next day, on average, every minute you had a protester interrupting. This became political gamemanship. It wasn't about getting to the bottom of this. And by the way, it's not in the Constitution. It does not say that the Senate must hold confirmation hearings. It says it must vote to give the president to advise a consent. But you don't have to do what they're doing now.
So you wrote this before the allegations of sexual misconduct against Judge Kavanaugh came out. That was almost 30 years ago, those allegations. Do you still feel, despite that the hearings are useless?
Well, I mean, we had all these hearings and we had all these private meetings with senators, and none of this came up. Even though Senator Dianne Feinstein on the Judiciary Committee had this letter, knew all about these allegations, back in July, we went through hours of hearings, hours of behind closed door sessions with the judge and the individual Senate members, and none of this was brought forward. So what do we need hearings for if they're going to wait till after all that's done to then throw this out into the media?
What about how President Trump is handling this? He has continued to commend Judge Kavanaugh, his credentials, and has avoided personal comments about Dr. Ford.
Mm-hmm. I think that's the right thing. I mean, look, nobody knows the truth except for, I guess, Judge Kavanaugh and Ms. Ford, right? The difference is that Judge Kavanaugh has said, not only do I deny all of this, I'm willing to go back and have hearings and testify about all of this. She said these things happened, but she's not saying she wants to come forward now and testify on all of this. So it is a he said, she said. The president doesn't know, but he's right now taking, I think, the word of his nominee, who by every other account has great integrity, and there's no proof that he did this.
How is this going to play out with Republicans and Democrats? Who has more to lose?
Well, I think if she does not come forward and see this through, it's one thing to make accusations, but if you make them and then you're not willing to come in and testify and back them up, I think that does not just damage to her credibility, but frankly the Me Too movement at large, because if you're another woman out there who does have a real story, and
You're saying she doesn't have a real story?
Well, I don't know. If she's not willing to back it up, if she said she wanted to testify, her lawyer said she wanted to testify, the Senate Judiciary Committee has given her a platform to testify, and now she's saying, no, I want to wait again and have another investigation first. Look, she was there. The FBI wasn't there. She says she was there. She needs to tell people what happened.
But what she's saying is it's going to be my word against his, and you need to investigate
and that will be the case with nobody else was in that room. The people that she said was in the room have denied that this happened. So I can't imagine they're going to tell the FBI anything different. And the FBI has also said, we've investigated him 6 times. This 36-year-old allegation is not something we would step in and investigate. They've come out and said this is basically politics.
And Kavanaugh does deny the allegations.
He
does.
We
have to talk about that. We're running out of time here. Thank you so much for coming in to talk about what you're calling these useless confirmation hearings.
Do we know any more today than we did before?
Thank you so much. Genevieve Woods, Senior Communications Advisor at the Heritage Foundation.